Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested. I'm here at New York Comic Con 2018. Now this is the booth of this guy here, Kline. You run Tenacious Toys.
That's right.
A lot of you out there in past New York Comic Cons have asked me, where do I get the designer toys that I pick up at the show? And it's at retailers like Tenacious Toys.
That's right.
You guys are not only here, but you guys have an online store as well. And I love browsing your store because you pick out some really cool artists. You help discover the artists that I then start following on Instagram.
That's right.
And follow their stuff. What's new this year? Who are you following?
We always bring in a huge selection of both big name artists who are, a lot of those artists are represented by a manufacturer. Like they have a toy deal.
Right.
That's the thing that all these artists want. They want a toy deal. Some of them learn how to produce on their own. That's becoming more and more common. Other ones are just starting out. So I have the whole range of people that are just complete noobs all the way up to like, you know, the legendary toy designers that have been designing for a long time.
So my understanding is like sometimes concept artists or people who are sculptors, they sculpt, people like their work and they maybe want to do a small run of toys. They try to do, produce on their own, very limited. And I see some artists have some success with that. But in order to get really into retail or online, they sometimes have to work with a manufacturer, like a Mighty Chaps or a Kid Robot.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the goal for a lot of these artists. They want to get that, they want the dunny. They want their own dunny. Everyone wants their own dunny. And that's super cool, right? But I actually think these artists make more money when they self-produce their own items and sell direct to the consumer. Because when you get a dunny, you're basically paid in like cases of dunnies, and then you'll sell the APs, and you can make money. That's cool. But I think the real money is to be made in producing your own items.
So who have you found recently? How do you find artists that excite you?
Just gotta have the finger on the pulse. Like I pay attention to like all these people in my booth. They're plugged into, and so I just listen to what they're doing and like what they're talking about and who's doing what and where, and like, oh, that's a new name, oh, that's a cool piece, and you just sort of do a little recon on them. A lot of times if I want to work with someone, it's as easy as just emailing them saying, hey, I'd really like to sell some of your stuff in my shop, and it's usually just really that easy.
And you take the investment on purchasing the inventory, and you're hoping that's
there's a lot of different ways I can do it. I can either set open a pre-order window and publicize that, and that way I'm actually not laying out any cash. The customers pay, and then I pay out the artists. I could sell on consignment, or I could just outright buy the stuff. So it really depends on how much of a sure bet it is. So like, I really like getting the brand new artists who are nobodies. They like the ones who barely even have a website, and that's really interesting to me, watching them grow and learn all this stuff about self-promotion, and me helping them, put a page for them on my site, talk about them on the blog, get their name out there a little bit, and then sort of Google does the rest. But it's like a lot of footwork. It takes a long time.
So let's talk about some of these artists and some of these toys. Right? I noticed you have a Mighty Chaps Jason Freeney.
That's right.
That's
a new piece by
awesome.
Freeney.
Very cool. I see you're working with Send Toys down there for some of their highly articulated robots.
Yeah, I love those. Those are an easy sell because they're so articulated, and so people just chase after them. So all I got to do is arrange with them. Yes, I'm going to get a shipment of X number, and I put the info out on the internet, and people just come.
So what else? Let me know.
Okay, what else? So this is the bots. The bots have recently had their own toys produced. Well, Kid Robot works with them, I believe. But UVD Toys is a small shop. They started as a blog, and now they're producing their own toys. So this is a follow-up small figure to a bigger figure that they kickstarted.
I see you got some Wegos as well.
I got Wegos. I always have Wegos because they're awesome. Yeah. And everyone loves them, and we have them in all sizes. As soon as people start playing with them, it's like they're just in it to win it. Here's a new thing. I learned about a factory in Mexico. So Mexico is pulling vinyl now too. So this item is my own dog. This is my own mascot. This is sculpted by Nemo, who's a local artist, and they produced it in a traditional old copper mold. And so now it's like soft vinyl made in Mexico, no China involved, and this shipping is a little cheaper. So like even I'm doing this. Like I'm doing the same thing. I'm like exploring my options, trying to see what I can do and get away with, what people will buy.
And encouraging artists.
Encouraging artists,
Absolutely. Thank you, Benny, for sharing the good word and being here at New York Comic Con. Designer toys, whether it's at 5 Points or Designer Con, it's a thing. And thanks for tuning me in.
It's always been a thing.
It's always been a thing.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you, man.